This episode finally finds us entering Canada, exploring trails in Banff National Park, trying out a local brewery, and enjoying the animal life, large and small, as we continue our journey to Alaska and Alberta, Canada. The smoke from the wildfires was like a constant fog.
So there are some hills out here behind the smoke.
After a border crossing and 300 miles, we finally arrived at Banff.
So if you're spending any time inside of the Canada National Parks, they do have an annual Parks Pass. I think it's about $140 for the annual pass. So we just checked in at Banff National Park, and there is an entry fee that you have to pay per day per person. So we're here for 3 nights, so it came to $63.
On top of the rental for your site.
Your campsite. So we also have reservations in Jasper, so we'll have to pay for that. So recommend doing the math. It may be worthwhile to get the annual Parks Pass. We're probably going to because we want to hit up possibly another 1 or 2. But the good thing is that even if you're unsure, this $63 that we paid today, we just have to go into the visitor center and we can put it towards our annual Parks Pass. So you're not paying on top of the 140s, which is really, really nice. So just note that just because you have reservations in the park doesn't mean that that also covers the entry fee to the park itself. We have arrived. And as we were pulling in, we already saw a herd of 5 elk just wandering through the campground.
Some were quite photogenic, while others were more athletic. The fur they were shedding was quite a treat to Stormy's olfactory senses. Then the smoke gave the sun an eerie glow as it set on our first night in Canada.
Setting off to do our first hike in Banff. So today is our 10th anniversary.
Woohoo! We made it 10 years!
And we are starting the day with a 7.4 mile hike out of downtown Banff. A little different terrain than we're used to, huh? Oh, I love it.
The smoke still obscured the views, but not as bad as the day before.
Up here, they're just geese.
I don't even care if you drink this.
The river had me wishing I'd bought my Canadian fishing license. Stormy was feeling the same way.
So your quintessential Alberta Banff National Park, starting to look a little more Alaska-y as we get further north.
This is amazing.
And we haven't seen a bear yet.
Yes.
At the next river crossing, we decided to take a break and take in the scenery while enjoying lunch.
Hey Kyle, what you having for lunch?
Peanut butter and jelly.
With a view.
After lunch, we crossed the bridge to see what was on the other side. Along Spray River East, we came to SP6 Mount Rundle.
So there's the campground. And this is really smart. So instead of just having the food storage area right at the entry, Kelly got the spiders this time. Pretty sweet little area. What do you think, dude? You got a tree on your tail. You gonna bring that tree home? How sweet is this? Big squirrel or something?
Food storage for each tent
campsite
platform on the other side.
Nice.
Wow.
So here's what food lockers are not for.
Yeah, don't pack your trash in here. So some of you have heard us say that Stormy has serious FOMO, fear of missing out, trailing behind. Do you have phobia? Fear of being eaten?
Look who is just chilling by the road right next to us.
Stormy literally walked up right on him.
Almost walked on you.
Almost got him.
Beautiful. I'll have to look up what you are later. You're very pretty.
Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Dumb and Dumber reference. Just got done with, it ended up being 8.44 miles
On which trail?
on the Spray River Trail. And
Happy Anniversary Trail.
happy anniversary trail. And we finished it with some beautiful falls right behind us.
Not sure if we're in a main ocean or Banff National Park. That's Banff.
Cute little cobblestone walking area with shops and restaurants lining it.
where we found Three Bears Brewery for some lunch and some local brews.
Don't mind the jackhammer. So what did we get?
Elk and kale pizza.
When in Banff.
Eat elk.
So what do you think?
Elk? It's delicious.
The sausage is so well done.
Super sausage. It's got more like a bechamel type sauce instead of a red sauce. Super good.
And their beer, also a little cheesy. Nice. So what do we think it's called?
Victoria Day.
Officially tomorrow. See all the patios. We're going out today. So when we checked in yesterday, we were talking to our neighbors and she was saying she was so disappointed because typically this is their view. We didn't understand. Now we do. Holy moly.
On our evening stroll, we saw this young bull elk grazing with his friend, a white-tailed deer. The next morning, the smoke had diminished a little bit more.
This morning we were up early and on our way out to Lake Louise to go for a hike. So Lake Louise is about an hour.
Almost an hour away.
Almost an hour from our campground. So we're getting there a little later than we had wanted to, but hopefully there will be parking. And we read some reviews that Lake Louise is still pretty iced over, so we'll see just how much.
So one nice thing about cutting here a little out of season or a little early in the season is it's almost 8 o'clock and there's still plenty of parking. FYI.
From the parking area, it's a nice stroll along a creek until you arrive at the edge of Lake Louise.
I don't think the video is going to do this justice, but man.
It was pretty incredible. From there, we hit the trail. We plan to do Little Beehive via Lake Agnes, a 5.5 mile out and back.
Jay, what's that smell?
Balsam. Bird.
I wish we could capture the smell right now. It's like straight out of a little balsam fir packet. Oh, it smells like home.
Further up the trail, we arrived at Mirror Lake.
Where's the snow? Yes.
Careful. Deeper than you think.
Tushy wiggle.
Is that the beehive? Or is that the beehive? I guess that's why they call it Mirror Lake. Next stop is Beehive.
That's big. This one's Big Beehive. Well, we're going to Little Beehive because Big Beehive you can't get to right now.
And we forgot our crampons like idiots, so
Yeah.
we may not make it all the way up Little Beehive.
We'll go as far as we can.
So.
The swath of trees are all broken and then cleared from the path. This looks like a small avalanche may have happened here. The path up to Little Beehive has not been cleared, so we'll see how far we can get.
We got exactly this far. We were supposed to go this way, but had to turn around and backtrack, which wasn't so bad because we were treated with this cute little waterfall. And then we were treated with real waterfalls. The tea house wasn't yet open at Lake Agnes, but the views were still beautiful. We changed our plans again and decided to make a little bit of a loop around the lake. That was until we saw the other folks climbing through the snowfields and realized we didn't have our crampons, so we turned back around.
So they haven't cleared up here either, but it looks like if we can just get beyond this.
With stubborn persistence, we forged our way through. When we made it to the other side, we decided to give Stormy a treat.
A little snow break. Good boy.
We did get the clean stuff. We're not giving him dirty stuff.
No, we dug down.
A little further down the trail, we ran into this guy, who we think is a marten, but we'd love to hear from you if you can identify it.
Go.
Once we approached the peak of Little Beehive, we're rewarded with this incredible view of Lake Louise.
So this was the site of an old fire lookout, put here in 1941 and used until 1978. And this way they could keep an eye out for fires all along the horizon.
Cheers. Ding. That must be gourmet peanut butter and jelly. That's the good stuff.
Stormy's favorite part about us having PBJs on the trail. Somebody said he needed a break. Oh, head down even.
Speaking of head down, it was time for us to head back down the mountain. But not before a little goofing off.
Oh, hills are alive with the sound of music.
Then it was time to get a move on, because we still had about 3.5 more miles to cover.
Lake Agnes. It's got a loo with a view. We came this morning, it was only maybe 3-4 meters.
These side-by-side photos show how much the ice had receded since we'd left that morning. Bergy bits had broken off and looked like crystals. There was still ice on the lake, but the sheet had moved. After almost 7 miles and 2,100 feet of elevation gain, it was time for a treat.
What do you have?
I have fruit bubble tea.
Yummy. Sadly, it's time to leave Banff. We only had 3 nights here. We're headed to Jasper. We only have 2 days there, so hopefully we'll get in a nice hike. And then it is a hard push to Dawson.
Dawson Creek to milepost 0 of the Alaska Highway.
We'll see you down the road.
Life is a winding